Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and we're trying a little bit of a different format for a video today. This is a map called Busted Knuckle Hill. It's another map from Gonzo, and he's basically been making some crazy rock bouncer focused maps. And coming tomorrow, there's a whole tomorrow and across the next couple days, you're gonna be seeing a dude, we had an awesome multiplayer session, and what I'm going to be showing you guys throughout that is you guys are going to actually be seeing what these hills are like. But what I'm doing right now is I'm actually driving around a little basically like a null vehicle that allows me to pretty much drive around a camera, and I'm going to kind of use it in the sense that you guys are going to be able to see a much bigger picture than you normally would on a map like this. So you've got the run over here on the right. You've got the run to the left of it. You've got these two runs that are more towards the left side. And you would think that, like, maybe that one all the way over there on the left would be the hardest. It's not. The one right here on the right, this is by far the hardest one. And I'll show you why a little bit later. But I'm going to switch into probably the green crawler. The big thing with this guy, and really any of these, all of these, is that they all have properly done collision axles. It is possible to high center on the diffs to the point where your wheels are just spinning in midair and they're not even touching the ground. I'm going to attempt a couple of these, and I'm going to explain to you some of the things that Gonzo did in... What? Oh my god. No way. You have got to be kidding me. That's like the hardest one to make, like right there. What we just did, we tried for about an hour to do, and neither one of us, like me or him, was able to do... Well, actually, no, I'll tell you, I take that back. He was able to do it once, and I ended up having to take a different line, like all of the different times I tried to do it. Holy crap. That was almost unheard of in terms of, like, at least in my experience of what you can do on this map. Oh, we almost had that jump, but then the other problem is you'll get high-centered if you don't do it right. Yeah, we're way too low now to use low, but basically what happens is if you were going to use low, you would use low if you were real close to basically like a ledge, and you wanted to... Aha! Yes! Now, this is the line that I kept taking, which was the line around the right side of the tree. That line is a little bit easier than the line that goes between the rock and the tree, but the rock and the tree, like, the line that you take between the rock and the tree is insanely rewarding, like, to the point where if you make it, you just can't help but, like, you feel so good about the fact that like, what you just did, that it's a really cool feeling. Like, you have to kind of, like, you have to think of it in the sense of, like, these hills are so difficult that the feeling of reward here is huge, right? It's so huge. Come on! Oh, that might have been the ticket right there. That also might have been a bad idea because it put us in a weird spot. This trail right in front of me. If we can get this right, I really hope we can get this right. Wow, we really didn't get it right. It's not always like the exact thing that you think is gonna... There we go! Like, the thing that you think is gonna happen with these rock bouncers and on these rock bouncing maps isn't always what actually happens. So with that being said, you kind of have to prepare yourself for anything. You genuinely just have to prepare yourself for anything, because anything can happen on these maps. Oh god. Oh god. Yep. And all of those loose rocks, he said, and you'll hear him say in the video when you guys see the actual multiplayer, he said that he's considering reducing the amount of basically, kind of like free rocks that are all over the place, and then basically just because of the fact that they do kind of get in your way a lot, but at the same time, he also said that he didn't want to take away that many of them, and he was actually starting to say that he may not want to take away any at all, because they provide that much of an extra challenge. And he kept saying, these maps are not made to be easy. And I think that's a good thing. These maps are not made to be simple. They're not made to be easy. They are made to challenge the crap out of you. And they're made to test your limits of how you can drive these rock bouncers. Because genuinely, there's nothing more rewarding than getting up to the top of one of these things without using a winch and by hitting all the exact lines. But I gotta say, though, I gotta warn you ahead of time, you know, once this map does come out, I mean, because, again, it's in development right now, but once this map does come out, if you guys do play it, be careful because, like, even Gonzo himself says that these maps, like, they can be mildly rage-inducing, and you gotta be careful of that. And because if you're not careful of that, you're gonna get mad. You're gonna get really, 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 really mad. Because, and trust me, I think, you know, both me and him got, well, I should say both him and I, or me, crap, I can't grammar right now. I don't know why. It's just like, it's completely all just slipping my mind. But no, I mean, for real, at the end of the day, like, these maps can be so rage-inducing because they're the hardest maps I've ever played in MudRunner. Like, this is what challenge is. Like, this is what these, you know, anybody that tries to make a map that's got challenge needs to look at this because he knows what he's doing. Gonzo genuinely knows what he's doing, and he's made some absolute monsters of maps. And I've never even climbed this side. I don't even know what's over here. But I'm constantly getting surprised because this is all brand new. We don't even climb, like, in the video series that we did, that you guys will be seeing soon, we don't even climb this side. We climb the other side. And it still took us a while to even barely get to the top. So, you gotta think of it from the fact that these are, oh god, I did not mean to go backwards. But yeah, these are really hard maps. And, man, like, you can't even process sometimes the difficulty level that these maps are, and sometimes you'll end up just sliding back down the hill, and you'll feel like there's nothing you can do about it, and you have to just start all over. And, you know, it can be kind of one of those things where you're like, you just get really frustrated and really angry, and you're not sure what to do. You're not quite sure whether you want to, like, quit the game and try something else or keep, you know, hammering away at that hill, because these hills just beg you to keep hammering away at them and hammering away at them. And sometimes that's a really good thing because it will force you to figure out the right lines, and because man, once you figure out the right lines, you're golden. Like, you are good to go. The only problem is, if you don't figure out the right lines, you're going to be spinning your wheels for a while. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to genuinely, not generally, but genuinely be sitting there just spinning your wheels for the longest freaking time, waiting and waiting and waiting to find that right line. And make no mistake, the right line is there, and it may not feel like it is, but it is there. And at the end of the day, dude, like, that's what this map is all about. Like, the quest for that perfect line. The quest for that line that's going to get you up the entire mountain in one shot without using a winch. That's what this map is about. That's what this map is for. And frankly, that's why I am all about showing it to you guys. And that's why I'm all about supporting Gonzo when he's making these maps, because they're so good. And this is the area of the map that's really not been developed at all. And if you look at how much area there is left to be developed, I mean, really the only parts of the map that have been developed is like this within here, like this little area right here that you guys see. That's it. That's it. And it's still the most difficult crawling map I think I've ever played. And what's funny is he kind of played it off when I asked him. I was like, "How difficult was it before I played this map for the first time?" He was like, I mean, it's actually probably a little bit easier than some of my other maps." No. This place is nothing but challenge, and I love it for that reason. I absolutely adore this place for that reason, and I think that it's what makes this map what it is. It's what makes this map what it is. It's what makes this map cool. It's what makes this map special. And I think it's what's going to make this map stand out over the course of time, because you rarely see maps like this, man. The maps like this are very, very rare, and I'm so glad that Gonzo is making these, and they're so, like, trust me, like, this is the place for him. You know what I mean? Like, MudRunner needed this, and because it adds a whole new dynamic. And we were talking about it because the whole rock bouncer scene and community and stuff like that doesn't really get all that much representation. It's just trailing, right? There's trail riding, rock crawling, and occasionally a little bit of racing stuff, but very rarely. But the rock bouncing thing, I mean, like, we've had rock bouncers in the past, but not as, like, a fully Oh! And that can happen sometimes. It's perfect backflip, though. But yeah, like, we've had rock bouncers before, but not as, like, a fully represented community. And these mods and this map literally take the rock bouncers to the level of a fully represented in-game community and open the game up to a whole new segment of players that will be into these kinds of vehicles and just want to do dedicated rock bouncing. And I mean, dude, once you get multiplayer going with it, I mean, you'll see in the videos that we did, like, dude, it's so much fun. It's so much fun, and it didn't want to stay in fourth. I don't know why it didn't want to stay in fourth. I'm trying to use it as a ramp to try to jump all the way up to the top, because if we could do that, that would be just nuts. That'd be absolutely freaking insane. There's third. Come on! Ah, it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. But, like, see, I could be at this obstacle for literally, like, a freaking, oh, I don't know, hour just trying to make it work. You know what I mean? Just trying to figure out the best way to get to the top of that hill without, you know, completely ruining my buggy. And honestly, man, like, that's the goal here, is, like, to make it to the tops of these hills. And they're not always the easiest thing to do, but holy crap. Oh, that's why I wouldn't move. I had the parking brake on. But, like, here's a good example, right? Go into the, like, you know, camera vehicle, and then look up, and you see that. You see what I'm saying? Like, that, you know, in front of you, it's so, like, you think to yourself, wow, that looks kind of tricky. And then you realize how tricky it actually is, and you go, holy crap, there's a lot more that goes into this than actually meets the eye. And my God, I am so excited for you guys to be able to see the videos that we did in multiplayer. I mean, I hope you're excited for them as excited for them as I am. Hope you enjoyed this little overview and tour of this brand new map that he's been working on. And make sure you tune in tomorrow. I will be back soon with more SpinTires MudRunner, Gigabit Off-Road, Off-Road Outlaws, all of those games, as well as we'll be back into some Forza very, very soon. So hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Talk to y'all later.